What's going on, sports card hobby family? Another day, another sports card video. We are back again. Today we're going to be talking about why half of my collection is Tom Brady cards and why, frankly, that is pretty risky. We'll dive into kind of the pros, the cons, and the thinking behind it. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Before we get started, huge thank you to today's video sponsor, COMC.com, your home for buying, selling, and flipping all the hottest trading cards. Their consignment marketplace now home to over 33 million trading cards, from baseball's biggest stars like Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and Mookie Betts to Marvel favorites like Spider-Man, Thor, and Captain America. COMC has something for every type of collector, so make sure to visit my link down below in the video description as well as in the pinned comments to build out your collection with your favorite cards at COMC. All right, friends, if Frank did this right, we should have a video rolling beside me that's showing many of my Tom Brady holdings, if you will. And I got to thinking about this maybe, I would say probably 18 months ago. I wanted to really focus my collection on a GOAT player. And really, Tom Brady is the undisputed GOAT in the NFL, in football. I know that there might be some, debate here and there, but it's not like basketball where you've got, Bill Russell versus Michael Jordan. Some people will say LeBron James better than Jordan. There's all the debates going on. Baseball, forget about it. There's all sorts of debates, different eras, different playing styles, all these different things. But football is my favorite sport, being a diehard New Orleans Saints fan, and it's a clear-cut winner here, at least as it sits today. Brady, with all of his accomplishments, really owns all of the passing titles as well as 7 championships, and just the absolute dominance over his career. Over his, 22, 23-year career, he was in the Super Bowl 10 times. I mean, that's pure insanity. And so I made the decision, hey, I want to really move in a lot of my chips into the Tom Brady bucket. As much as I couldn't stand watching him win that last title with the Bucks, you have to respect this guy for what he was able to accomplish, especially when you look back, the famous combine picture where the guy looks like, an average Joe. And I think that that's a big part of where the respect comes from, is when average Joe fans like me can look at a guy that looks no different than your neighbor or anybody down the street, whatever, and they're able to perform at the highest level in a game that is the most physical, athletic game, most violent game that there is in North America, at least. And so, for that to occur, I think that just adds to the legend. This is not a guy that was built with all the physical tools. He had to really do it with his head. I mean, that was most of his game, is just being able to dissect defenses and getting balls on time, being accurate. He controlled the things that he could control, but he was not gifted some unbelievable athletic ability, especially if you watch him scramble out of the pocket. All right, so that's why I chose Tom Brady. Also, although Tom Brady's prices had moved up, if you compare to basketball legends and baseball cards, football cards trail behind. The irony there is football is the most popular sport in North America, where the most money is spent on sports cards. From a revenue standpoint, the NFL far outpaces the NBA, the MLB, etc. So football has really been on the rise. Many will say that football does not have the global audience, but I would not underestimate Roger Goodell and the NFL in expanding that. They have games going on in London, more games in London. There was a game in Germany I saw a few weeks ago. Mexico City's been a spot. They are working on expanding the brand. So to think, 20 years from now, the NFL is just simply going to be mainly a North American sport, I don't know about that. I really don't know. I think if there's opportunities to expand, I would not be surprised to see an NFL Europe, NFL Asia, or whatever the case. So I really like the future there. And again, Tom Brady really makes up, if you look at football cards and, market cap of all football cards, Tom Brady really makes up a big chunk, especially of modern. I know there's, 80s, 90s vintage stuff that's in its own bucket, but really Tom Brady is a big part of the football market. And when you kind of look at it, I'll take the Pareto, the burrito principle from my friend Brent, deep value investor. The money ends up funneling up to the best players. It's just, there's no secret to it. If you look at where is most of the money landed on the singles market, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, my God, Mickey Mantle, and Tom Brady has a fair amount as well. But what's happened, of course, is the card market has softened. And so a lot of cards have moved down in price. And Tom Brady, to me, it reminds me of the early 2000s when Michael Jordan retired. people just kind of forgot about him for a little bit. It was on to the next, and people forgot about him. Look, it was the Kobe era, and it was the LeBron James era coming soon after. And the legend, the mystique of Michael Jordan, it took time to marinate. And I think the same goes for Tom Brady here, where, of course, people respect him, but he's not in the limelight. It's all the other guys. It's Patrick Mahomes, and it's Joe Burrow, and it's Josh Allen, and it's Tua, and it's all the up-and-coming guys. You're going to have another full draft classes coming up of exciting new quarterbacks, and the focus will be there. It will be away from Tom Brady. Doesn't mean Tom Brady's cards go to zero, but you can already see it. I'm following his cards on a daily basis. Excitement around Tom Brady has moved off. He's not playing anymore. So there's not, the people that are buying cards, they want to own cards of playing days players, people that are playing. He's not playing. He can't add to his legacy, but he's cemented it. He has cemented his legacy. Let's talk about risks now. And so I'm able to pick up cards that I enjoy, and I've made it no secret on my channel here. I consider myself a hybrid collector / speculator / investor. I'm all of these things. Throw it in a stew, mix it up. That's what I am. I'm not going to shy away from it. I do care about secondary value for prices of cards. I want my cake and eat it too. I want to be able to own awesome stuff, and then hopefully it maintains, grows over time. Doesn't have to be the 10x, 100x, pandemic weirdness, but just kind of hold on, slow increases over time. It would be fantastic. What's better than that? All right, so let's go down the list of risks. The first risk in my mind to Tom Brady's legacy and everything that he's done, Patrick Mahomes. The guy makes me nervous when he's been to 5 AFC championships in a row. He's got 2 titles. Thankfully, Brady was able to beat him out, although it was with the stupid Bucks. But from a legacy standpoint, that could have been a big swing. It would have meant 6 titles for Brady, and it would be 3 already for Mahomes. Now, Mahomes plays a different style of football than Tom Brady. I'm not sure if Mahomes can play up until 43 years old, 44 years old, whatever, given the way that Mahomes plays the game. He takes more hits. He's got a little bit of scramble to him. He would need to adjust his game over time. Tom Brady, obviously like a Drew Brees, pocket passer, just getting the ball out quickly and being really, really efficient. Mahomes takes hits, so he would have to, I think, slowly adjust his game as he ages. But Mahomes is scary because he is probably the best talent. He's a generational talent, undeniable. There's not a better quarterback in the league now, and you could argue that he's one of the best of all time. I know people are like, whoa, slow down. Mahomes has been unbelievable. Arguably the most competitive time in pro football. I mean, this is probably the best talent. If you look at all 32 teams, talent gap is really small. Every team has a pretty decent quarterback for the most part. If you compare back to the 80s, 90s, where you had, a few elite quarterbacks and then you had really some real bad quarterbacks out there, the NFL has tightened up. I mean, there's just a lot of talent. So for Mahomes to excel in today's NFL, given the speed of the athletes, how tight the rosters are as far as talent, I mean, it's impressive. So Patrick Mahomes is the number one risk to Tom Brady's legacy. He will have an extra game on the schedule now that Tom Brady didn't have, to go and beat the records that he's got. It'll just come down to longevity with Mahomes. So we will have to see there. Number 2, buying the right cards, of course. Buying the right cards. What's going to be hobby relevant? I love the 15-year numbered refractor type stuff. I just really enjoy those cards. I do have rookie cards for Tom Brady. I focused in on a lot of the cool refractors and specifically Prism for right now. I will broaden this out. I do also have some Topps Chrome, some Bowman Chrome and that sort of thing. But I really enjoy the Prism products. I love the design. And so that's kind of more of aesthetically what I like. And then also in my mind, I think that over time, 2012 to 2022 or whatever, this Prism run, I think it's going to be looked back on fondly. I think there's a lot of young collectors right now that are enjoying it, as well as adults now that are enjoying it, that, again, 10, 15, 20, 25 years down the road, I think that it's going to be looked at as innovative card designs, really great aesthetics, etc. But I could be buying the wrong stuff, in 20, 25 years. And also just to say too, I've got a long-term horizon on this. So this is not like I'm trying to flip in a year or 2 years or, there's a Hall of Fame announcement, I'm flipping Tom Brady stuff. I'm not looking at it from that standpoint. I want to hold it. I want to see if Tom Brady cards are looked at the same way as Jordan cards, Mickey Mantle cards over time in 20, 25, 30 years. Another factor with buying the right cards, pricing on cards. We just came off of a huge inflationary time. It's very inflationary. And, are these good prices I'm getting in at? Could they drop further? A lot of people would say yes. I have been kind of buying the dip on a lot of this stuff. Could it go down further? Yes. Would I buy more of the same cards if they do? Probably, yeah. I would probably just stack them. If they're, if I'm buying a card at 200, it drops down to sub 100, $80, $90, probably grab a handful of them because I like the numbered refractor parallel stuff. And at that price point, that's what I would like to stack up. All right, the last risk that I've got, and of course it's a no-brainer really, it's the off-field, he does something crazy, it's the O.J. Simpson, Brett Favre effect, to where you've had an amazing career. Brett Favre unfortunately got wrapped up in some welfare scandal thing. I don't know if the lawsuit is still going on. I don't really know what's going on with it, but it's pretty clear that he was part of some shadiness there. I don't know necessarily if it's affected his card prices tremendously. There are still a lot of Brett Favre collectors. I was a huge Favre fan. Favre and Sterling Sharp back in the 90s. It was really fun to watch those guys. And my Saints were never very good. And so the Packers were kind of my NFC team that I was rooting for in the playoffs against the Cowboys and so forth. And then, of course, the extreme case, O.J. Simpson. I think just having a lot of one player can be very risky. So when you have these sorts of off-field stuff that have the potential to happen, I'm taking on risk there. From a legacy standpoint on the field, I'm not taking on very much risk. But from the what could happen in the overall card space, do people care about cards in 20 years, 25 years? Do people care about Tom Brady? Do people care about the sport of football? All these things. There's risks in anything, guys. But this is the why with what I'm doing with football cards, Tom Brady. I also do the same thing with Breeze. It's just a fraction of the price of Brady, which is fun for me when I'm looking at these, the 10-year refractor, the numbered stuff. I just bought a Bowman Chrome Gold refractor yesterday because I just love the look of the card. It was 2009 for Breeze when they won the Super Bowl. And so he's kind of my backup Hall of Fame guy, the proven guy that is at a huge discount compared to Tom Brady. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you do a similar thing with a GOAT player? Maybe it's Michael Jordan, maybe it's Babe Ruth or Mickey Mantle or whoever your GOAT player is. Do you have kind of that's like your North Star, your GOAT player, and then you have like the other half of your collection is other things? I'd just be curious to know who else is doing something similar or if you're doing something completely opposite. So put your thoughts in the comments below. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.